when you find out the DC news that he's going over there to run the shop, do you ever go, look, I don't get involved in this normally, but why in the world would you do something like this? Back off, or is it the opposite? Like, go and change this shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, that was a total surprise to me.
Yeah.
I did not, like I said, he'll keep me posted on stuff, but he did not tell me that he and Peter were thinking of, that they even had an opportunity or were thinking of doing something like that. Like, so when I got that news at essentially the same time everyone else did, maybe like 2 weeks before they announced it, he told me. So like, that like, that was very shocking. And I actually remember my friend, Dan Palladino, who's Amy Sherman Palladino's husband, who I worked with on Gilmore Girls, and I did this episode of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and he's been a writer. He's incredibly talented, worked on Family Guy forever, and he's just like Anyway, I remember talking to him, and he knows James. I was doing ADR for Mrs. Maisel when the news came out that James got that job, and he asks the exact question that you asked, which was, he's like, I get that it's an insane opportunity, but why would he want that job? Why would you, when you're on, when it can feel adversarial, the difference between creators and studio people.
Yeah.
And like, you're always constantly like, there's always a little bit of a battle. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, it almost felt like jumping ship. Like, you're going from being a creator to being, all of a sudden you have to say no to people.
You're joining the empire.
Yeah. It's like, you have to listen to pitches and say, no, that's not good enough. And you have to like all these kinds of things. And it really kind of stuck with me that like, yeah, but I also know James well enough that I kind of got it. But I did ask James the question. I said, Dan asked this question, why would you want this job? And he's like, it's just kind of an opportunity to create this story world from the bottom up in a way that's never been done before. It's just an opportunity to like do something that no creator has ever really been given the opportunity to do. And of course, I just couldn't pass it up. And I get that. I get that James, like, building and, it's like, making one movie, that's awesome. But then, you can make a whole franchise. Right. That's even more amazing.
Right.
And now it's like, not just a whole franchise, but a whole world. You're like, he's not doing it alone. You're doing it as a manager. You're like finding the right collaborators and picking how the different pieces fit together. And I get it. And he's the right person to do it.